Hi traders, this is Forex Nelson and I'm back today. Today's date is April the 3rd. Hope everyone is safe and in good health. So moving on, today was high impact news, non-farm payroll. Make sure you have the calendar up and running. We can take a look at it. From Forex Factory, right here at the top, Forex Factory. Today, Friday, April the 3rd, we have the unemployment rate is negative. Non-farm employment change is negative, so we're selling here. And then, of course, on this one, hourly earnings right here, it's positive or green, or we're buying, so we're having mixed signals here. So that just tells me that the market, no guarantee of course, but the market can go up and down, which is exactly what's happening today. Didn't go up a lot and it didn't go down a lot. But you can trade and you can grab a few pips, and that's all I did today. I didn't grab very many pips, but you don't need a lot of pips to make a pretty good living. So looking at the charts here, I decided about 5 minutes or so before the news coming out, I did the pound dollar, the Aussie dollar, and I was going with the direction of my, this is the magic trigger on the left side, and this is the pip trigger, or the golden trigger. Remember, the golden trigger is when the market is in a range bound. And as you can see, it's going somewhat in a range. And over here, it's the same thing. You see the same thing. But I just wanted to show you both of them, as I do have my top three. Magic trigger, which is a combination of the pip trigger and the golden trigger. So, moving forward, I did not know before the news coming out that it would be positive and negative, but I was just trading what I was seeing. So let's take a look at the Aussie dollar first, drag and drop it up and see what's happening here. So I got in right here, and everything down at the bottom was blue, telling me to buy. It did a slight pullback here, 12 pips, and I decided to close it out with 14 pips here. And of course, those 14 pips on the Aussie dollar here paid $22.97. I was a little bit surprised, but in these times with COVID-19, I'm not sure why, but it's almost 2,300, so that's a lot more than $10 a pip. Don't know why, but I'll take it. So that was 14 pips on this one. Let's take a look at what the meter was doing. Let's see. Magic trigger. Drag and drop it up. So at this point in time, the meter is somewhat right in the middle, so I like to see 80 or more for buying and 20 or less, but today was not given those values. So you can only trade what you see on the charts. And I got the buy trigger, so I bought it, and away it went. So on this pound dollar right here, this was much more difficult. It did go against me. As you can see, it went all the way down here. I knew eventually, I thought it was gonna hit this support and bounce and go up, but it went a little bit further past that. But I had to exercise patience, and I knew that because this was all blue in here, remember blue is we're buying, so once it's done a cycle, and keep in mind the pound pairs fluctuate a lot more than any other pairs. if it has the pound in it. So it did this huge move, and I knew that I just had to wait for this cycle to be done, and it should go back up because it's in a range. As you can see, it's in a range here. So what I teach within the golden trigger training videos, I teach how to trade that. So here you go. Let's see, I got in at this cursor, and when it hit this top right here, I decided to close the trade. Ended up with 8 pips, and it's the same story down here at the bottom. Pound dollar, 8 pips, paid $12.81, which is more than $10 a pip. So I'll take it for whatever reason. It's paying more. I have no idea. So pip total was 22 pips. So this should be around 2,200, but for some strange reason it's 3,578. So anytime that you, a very good tip is if you want to get maximum value or money per pip, then stick with the dollar pairs. Any of the dollar pairs. They seem to be pumping out more than $10 a pip. And today on this pound dollar, as you can see, way back from 6 a.m., this beginning of the blue box, it's in a somewhat of a tight market or a range bound, and it's almost 60 pips. So, you know, as a general rule, you're going to buy at the bottom of the channel and sell at the top, and then buy again at the bottom and sell at the top. And you just focus on the channel and the arrows, and I teach all of that within the training videos. And of course, once it turned blue here, we know we're going to be buying eventually, but you must wait for the cycle. There's always a cycle. And I teach that within the training videos. So to say the least, today was a bit of a difficult day. And as you can see, I was glad I got out of the trade because I would be losing right now. So you got to pay attention when you see double tops, triple tops, or bottoms, and you got to manage the trade. It's very important. Manage a trade, trade management, and money management. And due to the fact that the huge percentage of the population, including myself, are staying at home, self-isolating, and you have a lot more time at home and a lot more time on your hands. So I am giving a special offer on my trigger systems, and if you want to know what that special offer is, you have to either call me or Skype me or email me, depending on where you live, and I can let you know what that special offer is. And you might be self distancing for another 3 to 6 months, and for sure you can learn another way to make money from home. And I'm glad I learned this more than 15 years ago, and it helps a lot now that I don't have to worry about going to a day job. So if your system is not producing, and as you can easily see that my trigger system's producing on a daily basis, and remember this was only 22 pips today, so you don't have to get hundreds of pips to have a good income. So if your system is not producing, what you really need, and I don't want you to dwell on the concept that there's a holy magical indicator out there, or you know, like the holy grail. There is no magical system. I like my trigger system because they work for me. You have to get your hands on a system that works for you, and you're going to go through a lot more than 2 or 3 of them before you find success. But the bottom line is, every time you buy a system, you should get training and education, and that is what you need. And that is why I produce these systems. It's the training videos. And every day when I'm doing a video, or when I was doing videos, I give tips and tricks on what you should be looking for prior to taking the trade. So if you want to know more about the magic trigger, all you got to do is look right below this video and you'll see this write-up. Magic trigger system I do charge $250 for. As I said, I have a special, limited time special going on at the moment, but you have to get in touch with me if you want to know what that is. This one happens to be the best of the golden trigger and the PIP trigger merged together. It has around 3.5 gigabytes of training, and you'll get an exact copy of my system on your MT4 platform. Now there's 4 MT4 templates, 10 custom indicators, along with the meter which happens to be my favorite meter that I showed you earlier. There's a lot of PDF books I highly recommend. Within these books, you read the Mark Douglas Trading in the Zone and the Disciplined Trader. And there's another good one called the Long Candle Course, which will help you to trade the different candlestick patterns. So there's a lot of very good education within these PDF books and the Word documents, along with this $1 million trade plan. But I wouldn't worry about that for the first 3 to 6 months. First, you get good before you at trading, before you try to pull that trick, this $1 million trade plan. Now, due to the fact that there's a lot of ways to trade, this is what I'm telling traders. You have to get education. The education is within these training videos. Happens to be 36 training videos along with 9 bonus videos. Now, the way that I trade absolutely every day, first thing I look for is a great way to trade. That's using the gold line and the awesome oscillator. I show dozens and dozens of trade examples and setups and exactly what it should look like. As you can see right over here on the golden trigger, if you would have sold right in this area, I should have immediately just sold it right here, but I have a couple of things I got to take care of, and that's not even including doing this video. But selling right in here, that would be 45 pips you'd be up. So I teach how to do that, buy low and sell high. Same thing's going to happen right about now. If you see it stalling out, hooking around, you can buy again. It's in a channel of about, how many pips is that? That's like almost 60 pips. Nothing wrong with that. You can trade all day long and make pips. So where was I? I give a lot of trading tips here. I teach how to back test the magic trigger, how to scalp the market, how to scan the market. Also teach how to trade all 3 sessions along with this London close here. Now I also teach how to do pullbacks and reversals. This downward move here is not a complete, it's just mostly pullbacks and sell. And then pull back and then sell, pull back. Went a little bit higher, but it just went to this resistance area right here. And I teach all of that within the training videos. So let's see, I teach how to trade the channel as I was talking about, and how to trade around the goal line. As you can see, very good entry points around the goal line. And of course I teach how to trade the news. I don't recommend pulling that trick too soon. The best way to trade to get you up and running and making pips and money as quickly as possible will be a great way to trade. I highly recommend that. And of course, how to trade with a day job. I never trade this way because I do not have a day job. I just like to get in and get out, trade 1 or 2 hours a day and be finished for the day. Usually I'm done around 9 o'clock in the morning. And today was about 9:30. I was done today. So it was about 1 hour of trading today for me. And looking forward to the weekend. So If you have any questions at all about the magic trigger or any trigger system along with the $1 million trade plan, all you got to do is pick up the phone and call me. Here's my number. Shoot me an email. Remember, there's an underscore here. And of course, Skype ID is Forex_Nelson, or just click on this link right here. We'll have contact. Much easier to do it this way. And of course, over the past 12 years, past 1 year, I built more 14 trigger systems, and prior to that, a grand total of 26. All you got to do is click on this link and you can go through all the different trigger systems. And of course, I have my top 3 systems. At one point in time, I had only 2. I did a video on it, and then I came up with the magic trigger, which is my number 1 system now. If you want to see a review, just click on these links right here. So that just about wraps up this video and trading for this week. And so until the next, oh, and by the way, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until the next trade, I want to wish you happy trading, and of course, be safe.